this video, I'm going to address posture. There's a lot of different talks out there about how you should be in your posture. What I'm going to tell you is your joints are going to move better when they're more neutral posture. So the two main postures we see is number one called an S posture. That's where you sit up, your butt's sticking way out, and your chest is up, and you just feel tight. You're not going to be able to control your hips and the separation between your upper and lower body as well. The other one we see is called C posture. That's where your butt's tucked under. It looks kind of like you're riding a horse and your shoulders are rounded. This one is going to be very hard to make a good shoulder turn. So what we want to do is make sure that you feel like you're comfortable and that you are in neutral posture for yourself and that you can move better. For those two things, you need, number one, you need to be able to what's called a pelvic tilt. So to be able to flex and extend your lumbar spine, and then as well as flex and extend your thoracic spine. So we're going to address both of those things today. So the first thing to get started we need to do is figure out which one you are. Do you have, when you set up, is your butt sticking out a little bit too much and you feel stress here? Or do you feel like you're bent over too much? I would suggest either getting a camera looking at it or look at it yourself in a mirror. But you want to make sure if you're more bent over or if you're more tucked out, the first thing we need to do is see if you can do one thing, and that's called a pelvic tilt. And when you do the pelvic tilt, you want to be able to not move your shoulders or your knees. And this is a tough one for a lot of people. So you're going to push your butt out, but try not to move your knees or shoulders, and then tuck your butt under and try not to move your knees or shoulders. So you're going back and forth, and I suggest videoing yourself because you're going to look a lot different than you feel being able to do this. I know it looks kind of weird, but you want to make sure, because I see a lot of people tuck under and their knees come forward, and guess what happens in your golf swing? Your knees come forward. So if that's a problem for you, we're going to go into the next two exercises. But before we go into those two exercises, if you're somebody that feels tight in your lower back or you feel like you're rounded, but you can do that pelvic tilt and you checked in the mirror or video of yourself and you don't have any knee movement or any shoulder movement here, what you want to do, so if you're somebody that has a little bit too much arch, all you want to do from here is just tuck under just slightly. And that'll relieve some of that and start with that. So you're just going to tuck under slightly. If you're somebody that feels a little bit bent over but you can move here, just get over the club like you normally would and you just feel that thoracic spine come up a little bit. So you're just going to come up a little bit, make sure you don't arch your back when you do come up. And then if you're somebody like that, then you're done, you can move on. Just try that in your swing, just a little bit tucked under, just a tiny bit, or just a little bit taller. If you're not, if you're somebody that needs help with it, stay tuned. Okay, so for the first two exercises, if you're someone that felt like you couldn't move or you're moving your knees and your shoulders when you're trying to do that movement, then we're going to do what's called, I call it cat and dog. Some people call it cats and cows. Some people call it camels and cats. So what you're going to do is get on your hands and knees because you probably had a stability or a mobility problem. So what you're going to do is on your hands and knees, you're going to get your hips right over your knees and your shoulders right over your wrist, and you're going to do the dog part or the camel or the cow. So you're going to push your butt up, head up, and then from here you're going to tuck under and you're going to push your back up as high as you can and tuck your butt under. So you're going to go back and forth, and what's happening here is the ground is providing that stability. If you still feel like, man, I can't even move here, then you want to go on to the second exercise, and that's laying on your back. So the ground is going to provide even more stability for you. So from here, you're going to feel like somebody's sticking something underneath your lower back, and the strings in your shorts or the belt buckle on your pants is going to go away from your chin. So you want your arms off the floor. It's going to go away from your chin. You're going to create room so somebody could stick their hand under here, or you could stick your hand under here, and you're going to create room this way, and then you're going to go the opposite way. So you're going to take the shorts, the strings in your shorts, and you're going to come back this way. You're going to push down on that hand or that object that's underneath your lower back. So you're not lifting your hips or your butt off the ground too much. You're creating the arch here, and then flattening the back here. So you're going to arch, and then you're going to flatten. So you're doing that same movement, but the ground is providing that stability that your core is not. Okay, now, so if that was tough on the floor, doing those two, I suggest you continue to do those, and you're going to create that pelvis movement. You're going to create the muscles in the core and the glutes to help you do that. Probably 3 sets of 10 to 15 on each movement, and I would suggest doing it every day for about a week or two, and then you can continue to start by standing and holding on to a fixed object, one that's not going to move. So you're going to get into your golf posture, same thing. So now you're going to create that arch, keep your upper back pretty flat, and then tuck under, keeping that upper back pretty flat, knees not moving at all. So the knees aren't moving, the hips are coming under the pelvis. That is going to help you because the fixed object is now providing the stability. Once you've done that and it feels better, now you can grab a stick or even your driver and just use that, because now it's going to move a little bit, but you still have a little bit of support and a little bit of core support. So you're going to do the exact same motion. You're going to push out first, then tuck under, and then push out and tuck under without moving the stick. So you've gotten all those, and now it's time to try to do it again without using anything. So you're going to push out, tuck under, and that will definitely help you in your posture, and it's going to, with this motion, it's going to help you stay in your posture throughout your swing, because now you've freed up the separation between the upper and lower body. So once you stand over, now if you still feel like you're a little bit back or you're a little bit tucked under, now try those things I addressed earlier, is where you're going to just tuck under just a little bit, get that freedom, get that spine more neutral, and you're going to move a lot better in your whole entire swing.